If it's one thing I love, it's weaponized autism. Y'all know I have like a slight touch, a little bit touch of the tism. And so I try my best to weaponize it, but the internet is really unmatched when it comes to that. So there is a new website called JeffTube. This person whose account on X is called Matthias, who Mattu, made a YouTube clone, but it's all of Epstein's released videos from the Epstein files. So you guys know the way that it was released, all the 3.5 million, and still only a fraction of all of them, by the way, have been released, were very scattered, hard to find. You know, people are searching keywords and everything is just a mess because obviously they don't want it organized for you to actually start to put the picture together. But this website called JeffTube, Weaponized Autism, is doing it. So I encourage everyone who is interested in this topic, trying to put the pieces together, to go check it out. But we're going to watch some of those videos here today. So there's a lot of creepy videos on this makeshift website. The first one, I noticed when I looked up the word pyramid, because I was just interested, you know, these people love pyramids, that Epstein had all these meetings with important people, sick people at a pyramid. And I was like, why does he keep telling everybody to meet him at the pyramid over and over again in the files? Here's a video of him in front of a pyramid. And this is a museum in Paris, France, that is shaped like a pyramid and has all sorts of, from what I was looking at online, other like occult, demonic symbology. I hate to be the person that just says that. Like, here's the thing. Leftists are so useless, right? Like, I was on X and, you know, it's interesting for me to get the takes from both people on the right and the left and how they're reacting to the Epstein files. What's their takeaway? What's their understanding? What are they thinking about all of it, right? And so you have some of the right who wants to pretend like it's not a thing because they think that that's somehow defending Trump, which is disgusting. And you have people on the right that are, in my opinion, the most correct people are the people on the right who are saying it is what it is. It's a satanic power ring. It's just what the research shows, even without the Epstein files. Like, this is a conclusion I came to years ago through very autistic, very deep, very obsessive research over the course of a few years. So that's their take. And then you look at people on the left. Sorry, I'm a little ADHD today. I'm like, the main takeaway I'm seeing from people over there is it's capitalism. There's all these viral tweets I'm seeing on my X of people being like, making it about Satanism is taking away from the real point that this is what capitalism leads to. And it's like, oh my God, you can't depend on them to fix anything because everything's just capitalism. Jeffrey Epstein chasing young people around in the kitchen. This powder does 3 things they'll charge you $10,000 for, but the FDA approved it, so they're screwed. 1, it releases stem cells from your bone marrow. 2, makes you 27% harder to kill. 3, it floods everything with nitric oxide. It's like going to the clinic and getting the entire menu and also getting stem cell therapy as the cherry on top. But it's chocolate and it costs a fraction of that. And if you think I'm exaggerating, watch this. Dr. Simon Mills, one of the top herbal medicine researchers in the world.
Dark chocolate is a medicine. End of. It's one of the best medicines around. It's 50 grams, 100 grams of 75% or more dark chocolate, brain health as well, cardiovascular health. They do studies where they've put cocoa into volunteers, that means students usually, so young kids, and they were able to show changes in their blood flow within minutes, certainly within an hour of eating cocoa, beneficial changes in your blood flow.
That's right. Dark chocolate. But here's where people get it wrong. The flavanols, the part that you want that actually does things, gets destroyed when the chocolate's processed. Regular chocolate has 50 milligrams of dead flavanols. But this Black Forest high flavanol cocoa powder has 1,200 milligrams of pharmaceutical extracted flavanols. Normally, you can't claim benefits in the supplement world, but this, the FDA signed off on a claim that cocoa flavanols supports heart health and reduces cardiovascular risks. And trust me, I don't care about the FDA, but the evidence was just so strong that they had to admit it. Studies show your brain gets faster 8.6 seconds in cognitive tests. Blood flow where it counts, 80% improvement. And the heart gets stronger, 27% less death. And all proven by a 21,000 human case study trial conducted by Harvard. The studies were so definitive that the FDA had to approve it, and they never do that. So that's amazing. Honestly, 6 months before I started this, I had trouble remembering people's names. There would be times I was climbing the stairs and I would maybe be gasping for air at the top. And now I have so much more clarity. I feel like my brain is so much sharper. I just feel overall so much better. This stuff is genuinely amazing. It's a part of my entire regimen, which is very extensive. I also have way better performance in the gym, which is super important for me. They take only the finest cocoa, they extract the flavonols, and they concentrate it into this. And it's made right here in the USA. So, choosing between this and a slow death, it's a pretty easy decision, I have to say. So don't be an idiot. I dropped the link in the description below. And for the next 48 hours only, if you go to my link in the description, you can get buy one, get one free for President's Day, but you have to go now. 48 hours only, starting right now. I mean, you get it, right? You get it. It's really bizarre how there's this cope that I've seen from people like a Megyn Kelly or a Nick Fuentes or what's that guy's name on X? Michael Tracy, that retard, saying, there's no evidence of anything to do with minors. And this is all like, first of all, the Nick Fuentes way, the barely legal women. Megyn Kelly said that too. And then Michael Tracy is like, no, there's no evidence. Meanwhile, the DOJ said that any children are blocked out because they are victims, which would mean that the children in this video are victims. So I'm very happy to see Prince Andrew has been arrested over in the UK. He's clearly the sacrificial lamb for this, and that's fine. We'll take a lamb, but we need a few more lamb, actually a lot more lambs. It's actually a little bit humiliating and embarrassing that there's more justice over there in the UK than here in the States. I see Trump is trying to release stuff about aliens now. Cool, but let's talk about that after the satanic pedophiles. Not that they're not connected, right? Because if you know that too, but maybe one thing at a time, right? Here you have Deepak Chopra talking to a child.
Krisha, what is reality?
Reality is experience and the knowing of experience and consciousness.
You got it.
Reality is knowing consciousness. And this was interesting to me. I put this in here because throughout the Epstein files, there's a lot to do with consciousness. You have Epstein funding various parapsychology organizations. If you don't know what parapsychology is, that is the scientific study of telepathy, ESP, psychic ability. I'm so sorry if you're not caught up that that's like a thing. It is. The government has funded it. Project Stargate. There's been a lot of resources into making psychic soldiers. There's emails from Epstein talking about special abilities from child victims of abuse. And this is also an occult belief. If you do any research on the occult, you find out pretty quickly that they believe that abusing children gives them psychic abilities. Whether or not that's true, that part's up to you. However, there is clearly a deep, dark, hidden science having to do with ESP and consciousness. Epstein had Zoom meetings regularly from the files with people like Dean Radin, who is a studier of the occult, telepathy, consciousness, psychic abilities. So this stuff that people like to sort of throw away as like foo-foo or, woo-woo or not real or whatever, not important. The most important people in the world are funding it, studying it, and obsessed with it. So this consciousness aspect is all throughout the files. And it's a lot to get into, but I really do encourage people to look into how that is weaponized. Things like MK Ultra, mind control, all of it is tied together. It's a really long thing. Maybe I'll do a whole dedicated video to this in the future, but the only reason I'm bringing it up because it is important. It is important. The elites, the government, politicians have an understanding of consciousness that we do not on the lower level. I mean, if you look into it, you can have a better understanding, but it's not woo-woo. Here you have an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Who were the other 17-year-old masseuses they were aware of?
I'm not aware of any.
Were there any 16-year-old masseuses you were aware of?
I'm not aware.
Any 15?
Look, I just want to be clear. The only person that I'm aware of who claims to have been, we have to, whilst I've established that I was 17, given that she has changed her age so many times, the only person that I'm aware of that was a masseuse at the time when I was present in the house.
Can someone remind me why she's the only one in prison right now, by the way? In a comfortable prison? And did you see the fake photo they released of her recently? Y'all saw that, right? One of the interesting things that I've been able to really learn a lot about through my transition and the various work I've had done is I learned a lot about the face, facial features, how they change and how they don't change. And you cannot go from hooded eyes to non-hooded eyes without plastic surgery. So unless she's having plastic surgery in her cell, that ain't her. It's not her. The nose is different. It looks like the race is different. The other chick low-key looks like Mexican or mixed or something. Like, so I don't really know what's going on. But the fact that she's the only person sitting up in a prison cell is so disturbing to me. It's so disturbing to me. And I'm so sorry. I'm not moving on. I'm not moving on. I don't care who did what or when. Because also there's no statute of limitations for sexual crimes. So whenever it happened and whoever did it, I would say deserves something worse than prison, but that would be the least of what we can do. Here's this. Oh my God.
I can't wait.
Forgot about that one. That looks clearly like a child in his lap. I don't know how some people still have careers. I have to be so honest. Why has Megyn Kelly not come on camera crying tears of regret for slandering the victims of this operation, saying that they are barely legal?
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
I don't know. I feel like I would, if I ever said that, I would either like retire in a blaze of shame or make sure I at least came up on camera and been like, you know, I didn't know what I know now and I was a piece of shit for saying that. But I don't think she ever will. Just like people like Nick Fuentes will continue selling merch, glorifying Epstein. And just like others will be saying their bullshit. But it's really sad. It's really sad to see how much this has melted people's brains. Maybe people are a little bit fatigued by the fact that this is like the main thing I'm talking about lately. I'm not really talking about much else, but it's because honestly, I try to just make videos about what matters to me, and not much else matters to me right now other than the Epstein files. I have to be so honest. Not much else matters to me than this, because I actually don't see a way to move forward without justice. I don't see how, as a society, as a collective, as a species, we can just move on. And I also think that similar to how during COVID, a lot of really evil people got a lot of really important, great data to continue furthering and perpetuating their crimes against humanity, if we move past the Epstein files, I promise you that whatever operation Epstein was a part of, because he wasn't the boss, he was an employee. Be real. And all the other black organizations, all the other dark occult shit going on, they are going to be so on 11. They are going to be doing their big one from here on out, because they're going to have the proof that society maybe cares a little bit, but ultimately is never going to hold anyone's feet to the fire. No one's going to prison. Nothing's really going to happen. And we can continue doing whatever the fuck we want for the rest of eternity. So until we prove them wrong on that, they're going to do whatever they want and worse. So we're not moving on. At least I'm not. Thank you so much to Black Forest Supplements for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Make sure you guys check them out in the description below. Subscribe to me on this channel as well as my main channel. Follow me on X, Instagram, TikTok, and all the things. See you next time.